Hi guys, Jim Minrod here from minimakes.com. Back with another quick video. Just wanted to touch base on packaging files, go over some details on how to do it, best practices of why you would do it. One of the first things you want to do is go watch the other videos. Make sure your bleed's correct. Make sure you're pre-flighting your files. So if your bleed's correct, you're pre-flighting, everything's good, everything's exactly the way you want it. You then go through this next procedure of packaging it up. It grabs everything from wherever it is on your computer. So if you have on different hard drives, in all honesty, the fonts are usually the biggest thing. It used to be a major issue 5, 10, 15 years ago. Forget it. Fonts were a train wreck. But now with the new Adobe type kit and the Creative Cloud software where everybody gets the newest versions whenever they want them, it's definitely been a much better process for designers and pre-press people, getting everything together. But this package puts everything in a nice package for you. It's fairly quick. We'll go through some of the details of the package process. All right, let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is, like I said, make sure you do check your bleeds, go through that process, pre-flight it. I do have some issues on this pre-flight, but we went through the video. Everything was good. The things that are wrong aren't really wrong for what I want out of this project. So you want to go under File and then down to Package. And as I mentioned before, you could use the shortcut keys, but for as many times as you package files, it's probably not that, nothing major to learn there. So when you hit Package, this summary page will be everything you really need to look at. Fonts, there's 22 fonts in the job, 0 missing. That's the biggest thing. As long as you have them all, 9 embedded, 0 incomplete, and 0 protected. Should be good there. Links and images, I got 17 links, 0 missing. The RGB color space and the embedded, the inaccessible, none of that's an issue. As long as you don't have 0 modified, as long as you have 0 modified and 0 missing, that's the key here. Colors and inks, again, we don't care too much about lab RGB. Leave as is, we'll convert that on the fly. Spot colors, we'll convert them. Sometimes it's better if you convert them yourself. If you're going to convert them to a CMYK, then you know what values you're going to get out of it. Other than that, more or less check the proofs. This little button down here, create printing instructions. I'll show you what that is next, but the summary shows you everything you'll need to know here, but each tab, fonts, links, if there was missing stuff, you would see them in this window. Colors, so if you had spot colors, they would also show up in the bottom here. Print settings, that's only for your printer, whatever you have set up. And then external plugins is plugins that you have listed, as long as you didn't use them to make something in the project. So if you use the variable data software or you use the plugin that we would need, either we need it or we'll have to find a way to get that picture embedded so that we have everything we need. But usually that's not too much of an issue. So after you check over your summary page, the report is separate. You can click on that in the next window. Then you click on Package. So everything's good. You have all your fonts, all your artwork. Package your file up. The instructions, it goes into the package. You can put your contact information on here. Really, it isn't necessary. You can click off that in the beginning if you want, and type in your address, phone number if you wanted someone to contact you if they had questions. But most of the time, this isn't really necessary. And this next window is ask you where you want to save it. Pick your destination where you want to save it. I'm going to save that to my desktop. I have all these checked. You definitely want to copy the fonts. And it says here, accept activated from Adobe fonts and non-Adobe CJK fonts. If you're sending this to a place that has Adobe programs, they'll have the type kit. They'll be able to activate them through there. Saves a lot of hassle, a lot of font problems, like I mentioned before. Stuff goes away. Copy link graphics, anything you have linked, anything updated. So it'll update the graphics for you. But that should have already been, you should have already taken care of that in the pre-flight, because you want to make sure when it updates that it's not coming in as a different size or placed somewhere where you don't want it. Use a document hyphenation. I would keep that on. The last two, either you can leave them on or not. Include fonts and links from hidden. Again, if you maybe put a bunch of hidden stuff on there and we don't need it, fine. But if you accidentally made something hidden, this will package it and give it to us. It'll keep it hidden, but then we have it if we need to put it back in. It'll save you from saving it again. The next two really are the main ones. Include IDML. You could leave that on or off. Like I said, the IDML is only to back save it if someone didn't have the version, but any printing company you're sending it to will have the latest versions, especially with the Creative Cloud package now. I put that in there in case something goes corrupt. We can open that, save it up to the newest version. Seen that happen like 2 or 3 times, where for some reason the InDesign file was corrupt. We could open the InDesign, the IDML. It still opens in the newest program. We just open that instead. Just a one more backup. Include a PDF print. You can, this PDF preset is something we'll go over in another video, but I imported that. That's a high-res PDF. Everything's there, good to go. If something happens where we don't have the InDesign file or something's wrong, and we can look at the PDF, I think it's good for the designer to open that PDF and view it. What you see there is what we can reference again. If we see something different on our end with transparency or anything different, it's good for us as a reference to say, okay, well, that's what their PDF would have gotten them. And with your settings, a lot of times fonts, aren't as big as a problem as they used to be, but you still never know. So it gives us an idea of what you would have got from your end. We can open them and compare those two PDFs together. It works out pretty well. The instructions, as I mentioned, you can hit that again and type those different information in for each one if you wanted. View report, I'll leave this on for this video, but you really don't need it. It's, it's almost the same thing as a summary page. It just retypes it out, and it does add it to the package. So you can keep it in there, it'll put it in there, but this is to view it. You could probably turn that off when you're doing this full time. All right, so the next thing, you hit package. And of course you get the font warning. Basically it's saying if you don't have the rights to the fonts, you shouldn't be handing them out. Most, like I said, with the type kit and everything else, we're not taking your fonts and keeping them in a font library. We just use it for your job. We're not handing them out and selling them to anybody else. So you're pretty good there. You can click on that don't show again if you want. You hit OK. And what it's doing is preparing to save it. It's going through, it's grabbing all the links, all the files, all the fonts, putting everything in a package. Depending on the size of your job, it'll depend on how long this takes. And this is the instructions show up, like I was saying about the report. That's, not something you definitely need. Okay, so now that was done. What I'm gonna do is hide this. And now you'll see where on my desktop, it saved the file based on the InDesign. And we could rename them if you wanted something different going out. Before we go any further, I wanted to go back. There's something I should have said in the beginning. When you open the file and you're getting ready to package it, I didn't get it with this one, but you're probably going to get a message saying you need to save it. So if you didn't want to save it for some reason as that name, you could save it as a different name, but just got to save as, and it's going to say you need to save it before you can package it. It just wants to make sure everything's updated before it packages. But now you have your package. If I open this folder up, inside here is all the fonts in that document, all packaged up, shown as certain kilobytes, which means they weren't corrupted. The instructions for us to open if we wanted, and then the links, all your links for the job, your IDML, as I mentioned, you got your InDesign, and you also have your PDF. So I would open this, go through, take a quick look over everything, make sure it's what you needed. Been over that file. And then the last thing, and I think is the most important whole part of this, other than the package, is right-click on it if you're on a Mac and zip it. So when you zip it, what it's doing is compressing that down, and it's not about the size, it's about keeping all of that in one folder. It saves you for when you're uploading to FTP sites, and it saves the fonts from getting corrupt. So that way you're only sending one file to an FTP or an upload anywhere, and not a bunch of folders and a bunch of little pieces. To me, the next important thing is now you have everything packaged up on a, you want to get it ready to send it. You don't want to send this folder with a bunch of folders inside because of the fonts. Everything's in little pieces. You want to zip this up, make a zip file, so it compresses all the fonts, but it hides it into one folder. It saves the fonts from getting corrupt. You upload this file to an FTP site, WeTransfer, Dropbox, something like that. The fonts get corrupt for some reason, whether it's being passed through, especially emails from one CSR, from the designer to the CSR, back to prep, back to, when we start opening this stuff, things go corrupt. So you want to package that up. So on a Mac, you want to right click or control click, and then compress the file. It's 388 megabytes. It says less than a minute. So it's a pretty quick, package up depending on the size of your file. And then this file, you can save it wherever you want on your server. And when the zip file is done, that's the one you want to upload. It's one folder. FTP site sees it as a one folder, and it definitely will save you a lot of time of hearing about corrupt fonts or things didn't upload correctly. So hope that helps. Like I said in the other videos, please like and subscribe. If you subscribe to the channel, like the videos. If you have any questions, jump over to the website, minimakes.com. I have a contact form over there. I'd be happy to answer questions there or in the comments below. All right. Thanks for watching.